What is actually the healthier screen time? Is there a healthier screen time?
Was a research study which was done. So there is something called 3 C's of screen time.
Okay.
The child came and used a bad word.
How does it affect the child's development through this?
And sense of self diminishes.
Sometimes the children also come and fight with you. Ma, 10 minutes then ma, it would have been 1 hour. The children don't realize it. What's actually happening in their brain is they're not able to come out of it.
So on the screen we see a lot of colors,
Right.
lot of movements, fast movements.
Children enter into a state that we call trance.
One more interesting thing that I have noticed in my practice is that இப்போ நம்ம வந்து ப்ளே எவ்வளோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு சொல்லி நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணி விளையாடுங்க அப்படின்னா பேரண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் க்ளூலெஸ்
What to play?
ஹவு டு ப்ளே.
Talking about screen time and iPads, what is actually the healthier screen time? Is there a healthier screen time?
Yeah. So the Indian Association of Psychiatry, as well as some international bodies as well. So what they suggest is that from birth to 2 years, no screen time. Right? It's very hard, I know, for people. But there comes a question. குழந்தை பிறந்திருக்குல்ல இப்போ வீடியோ காலில் காட்டலாமா? So that is a very common thing. அவன் பார்க்க போறது இல்லை, நான் வீடியோ கால் தானே காட்டட்டா. So again, what happens is that when we show the phone in this way, the light exposure is there. Probably it's okay. Probably நீங்க திருப்பி வச்சு பேக் கேமரால மேபி நீங்க காட்டலாம். But again, we have to be very mindful. No screen time. No screen time at all in any form. So screen time சொல்லும்போது ஒரு டிவில இருந்து tab, mobile, everything. Yeah.
Most of the parents perceive screen time na only mobile phone அப்படின்னு. But உங்களோட television, your desktop, whatever. And one more thing with parents is they start saying ஸ்க்ரீன் டைம் ஃபோன் வந்து குட்டியாக இருக்குல்ல மேம், ஸ்க்ரீனு பார்க்குறப்போ கண்ணு அஃபெக்ட் ஆகும்னு சொல்லி பெருசாக ஐபேட் வாங்கி கொடுத்துருக்கேன், இப்போ கண்ணு அஃபெக்ட் ஆகாது. யூனோ சம்டைம்ஸ் they feel parents are very innocent. They try to do their level best to help the children, but somewhere or the other it's actually causing even more harm because larger the screen, larger the exposure to light. No, எனக்கு இது ஒரு பேரண்ட்லாம் சொல்கிறப்போ ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இன்ஃபேக்ட் நான் கேட்குறப்போ they said how much time do you use your mobile phone? மேம் மொபைல் ஃபோன்லாம் நான் யூஸ் பண்ணல மேம், ஐபேட் மட்டும் தான் நான் பார்ப்பேன். ஆஸ் இஃப் ஐபேட் இஸ் வெரி ஹெல்தி. வீட்டில் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க போல இருக்கு, ஐபேட்ல பார்த்தா கண்ணு வந்து வலிக்காது உனக்கு.
So for children who are between 2 to 5 years, ideally 1 hour is what is suggested. That too not alone, like with a parent being present and also monitoring what is being watched is ideal. After that, again, the minimal is the best. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So coming to the screen time, even though we say this is ideal or this much is allowed or whatever, so there was a research study which was done wherein they tried to see how many minutes or how many hours is very harmful or it's affecting the child. So surprisingly what they found is that it's not about the quantity there, right? A children who is just using 20 to 30 minutes a day and comparing to a child who's using like 6 to 7 hours, even the child who's using for minimal amount of time might have disturbance in sleep or might have difficulty in academics. So it's not just the amount.
It's about the impact of the content.
Exactly. Impact of the content and like other things also. There is not just the thing, right? So for what are they using the mobile? Right? So just not the quantity or the hours of time they watch. In general, screen time is something that we have to be very cautious about. And when it comes to screen time, the main question is like, how do we manage? Right? It's a very challenging part nowadays. So there is something called 3 C's of screen time. Okay. First is connection. Next is context. Next is content. So what we see in connection is that screen time actually helps in connecting with people. Also it disrupts the connection with people. Right? So it's a two-way thing. So it's about, for example, say your relative is abroad, our grandparents are somewhere else, people will ask the child to connect or talk over video call or something. But at the same time, if we see a parent using the mobile phone and our child is not getting the attention, again it's disrupting the connection between them. And it's a vice versa, other way around. So the goal here when it comes to connection is that we have to make sure that the screen time is not disrupting the connection, it's helping to build connection. That's one thing. That will be the goal when it comes to connection. Moving on to the context. It's not just about what they're watching, it's about how, when and where. right? So we can have certain rules, like screen time rules in the family. So when setting the screen time rules, it's not necessary that they have to set it like, very rigid rules which the parents also cannot follow. So their parents also have to be consistent. So if there is a rule saying that there is no screen time 1 hour before the bedtime, even the parents should not be using.
Right.
Parents using the mobile and asking a child saying no screen time, what is the child seeing? நீ பண்ற அப்ப நானும் பண்ணலாம்ல. So that is the basic
Because
understanding.
you want me to behave like a mini adult. So I'm going to copy you.
Very true. So we can have some basic screen time rules at home. I think that will ideally help, but it should match with your value system as well. Right? So and also it should match with your current living situations and also with your own capacity to do that, stick to the rules.
Correct.
Right? So that is important. So next is the content. When it comes to content, like what are they watching? Because it has a very huge impact, like very huge impact. So for example, it's one child, I saw them in my session, and then the parents one day they told me this incident wherein initially they used to appreciate the kid for mimicking something or like learning a trendy song, and when they come and sing or dance, they used to appreciate it. One day what happened, there was probably a tantrum situation. The child came and used a bad word. The parents don't speak bad words at home, at least not in front of the children. So they were very curious, where did my child learn from? Like, where did it learn from? Probably the social media. The child is very unattended while watching the reels. So we don't have control over the reels or the shorts that they see, right? So they consume whatever this thing that comes to them. So it's very, 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 very important to have a check on what are the content that the child is consuming. It's very important.
And also, sadly, I went to a theater a week back for, one of South India's top most actors film. There was a bad word used in that film. Okay, everybody started clapping. The entire audience in the theater started clapping. In front of me, there was a 6 or 7-year-old child. I was just wondering what would be the lesson for the child here. Child would understand, okay, if we use a bad word, if we use a cuss word, everybody will appreciate, everybody will clap, or it is very heroic to use such words. Understanding. I was just wondering at that point in time. And I think even parents should be very mindful of taking children to such films. Either censor panna films ku kootit pono, or even worst case scenario at home Netflix la you watch so many adulthood movies and all of it, right, wherein parents are not at home, children just sit and watch. There's no control, there's no monitoring, nothing. The children just consume whatever comes by in the television. Or
very true. Even a sad situation wherein I went for a movie which was actually A certified, which had like a lot of violent scenes, like cutting, killing, full blood and all that. They brought a baby there. So they just assume that if it's A rated, like okay, maybe I'll not bring the kid, but I can bring a baby. But the impact that the baby has, it's very saddening to see when parents carry their babies to the theater. I think there should be more strict regulations. But even though we have regulation, I think parents, they have to have it. And also, it should be like a moral responsibility of the theaters as well to mention that line there, not to bring babies. I think they think babies don't see that. Babies don't, hear those things. But the overstimulating lights,
the vibration
and sound. It's very bad for the baby.
Now a very quick question. I've got one of my niece, okay. She was just sitting next to me. She just uploaded one of our family pictures on Instagram, her mother's Instagram profile, and she quickly came to me in the other room and then she said, Chitti, like podunga. So I was asking her, what should I like? And then she said, na family photo potirukken, neenga like pannunga. So I was like, okay, like pandren, appo like pandren, all of it. And then she was like, she went into my profile and then she saw my likes and then she specified a number and said, Chitti, ungalku mattum eppadi ivlo like varudhu? So I said, because my followers are more. So she quickly went to my father and then she said, Tata, neenga vandu install pannunga, neengalum install panni enna follow pannunga and all. So somewhere I feel 6-year-old and all have now started creating content. யூடியூப், இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் இதில் நம்ம எடுத்து பார்த்தாலும் இட்ஸ் வெரி க்யூட் சம்டைம் டு see. They just say என்னையும் ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்க, சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்க, லைக் பண்ணுங்க and all of it. But somewhere I see from this that children also need a lot of social validation. You know, எவ்வளோ பேர் எனக்கு லைக் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, எவ்வளோ பேர் என்ன கமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, எவ்வளோ பேர் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க and all of it. How does it affect the child's development through this?
It's very saddening to see. Even sometimes it's cute, but immediately one thing that flashes in my mind is that, oh my god, this child is going to suffer somewhere down the line if the child is going to constantly. Even nowadays we see children who are influencer, right? It's very saddening. As you said, they get social validation only through social media, and sense of self diminishes. That age wherein like 6, 7, 8, through the teens is where their sense of self forms, the identity forms. So during that point we are not allowing it to form, right? And even for adults it's very difficult sometimes to bring that line that this is real life, this is real life, right? We ourselves start comparing that, you know, அவங்க பாரு எவ்வளோ வெக்கேஷன் போகிறாங்க, நம்ம ஒரு வெக்கேஷன் கூட போக முடியல. See, அவங்க இவ்வளோ ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் போகிறாங்க, நம்ம வந்து we can't do anything. So as adults we are not able to distinguish. Then think of a child. How will the child be able to distinguish that between the real life and the real life? It's very difficult. So they will start comparing themselves with others children, other children out there, right? They will think that number of likes is basically defining their own self and sense of that self-esteem. Everything depends on that. So as you said that when the likes don't go up, they automatically feel something is wrong with me, because they don't understand the concept of the followers and how the likes come in. And also even it's very difficult for us to understand the Instagram algorithm. Then how will a child understand the Instagram algorithm, even if it's a public account and it's an influencer child? It's very, very difficult. And sometimes when the child is being an influencer, the child is kind of making an income out of it, which is supporting the family as well. So somewhere maybe we don't know whether the child likes it or not. The parents have to keep pushing the child to do it. So that is also something we have to be very mindful of. And nowadays with the social media, there are like a lot of restriction coming around in a lot of countries, right? Like few countries have banned some social media and all that. Even though if a government brings in such rules, bans app and all those things, it's not going to be the solution for the problem, right? It has to start from the home. It has to start from the parents, right? Even if they are in social media and there is no other way that, you know, if it's a form of earning for the family and they really can't quit immediately or something, the parents has to take up the responsibility probably in educating them about what is real life and what is real life, and helping them to cope healthily when there's some situational crisis that comes in,
so that their esteem doesn't go down.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. But talking about screen time at home, so I've got this question. Somewhere even parents manage to negotiate with the children. They say, "Like half an hour, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, and all of it." But on the other hand, come back to schools wherein they promote smart education. So I have my own nephew. He goes through a communicative English class. And then you see from the library, you will get to know what is happening in the class. It's a transparent class. So children go there, they greet the teachers, they have a 5 or 10 minutes of introduction or some hook activity. They immediately take their headphones, put it. Everybody has got a desktop. 2 hours of that communicative English class goes only through desktop and their earphones. Now, somewhere, even if parents manage to negotiate, as a form of smart education, children get exposed to screen time. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that is very challenging thing, because as you said, parents having a control and school they go get exposed. I think this edtech is growing, it's coming. So schools are kind of experimenting with it, because when you market a school, when they say, you know, I have so many features, we have so many edtech, this is how we teach, we have this modern facility and all that, people get attracted and they go, and schools are also opting for it. But I think it's very important for us to have it well researched and see if it's really helpful. Right? So recently I came across this news where in Sweden they have completely removed tech from school. They have gone back to notebooks and how we used to learn, right? They have gone back to that. because what they have found is that in few researchers they have found it's not being helpful. So that is not helping the child to develop or to improve or to grow academically. So that's not playing a very important part, but rather again the screen time has its own impact. So the negatives are more, so the positives are not being very much evidently seen, so they have scraped it off. Right? So I think on a larger scale we all have to, and the schools all have to mindfully be when selecting those things. Like not completely put them in 2 hours, rather than short burst of having some screen time or edtech would be fine, rather than like completely immersing. One more thing what happens when we bring technology into education is that technology and screen time is all one-way communication. Right? If there is a teacher standing there and teaching, that's a different, that's a human connection.
Two-way portal.
It's a two-way this thing. So teacher may pause, will ask for some clear the doubts, right? We'll give a break also if the teacher feels the students are not motivated. But when it comes to the screen just being there and just you keep watching, so all those things are going missing.
Right. Now, most of the parents, I think they already know using screen time is not very helpful for the child, or on the other hand, very harmful. But they just don't know what to do instead of using their screen time.
That's a very big question. So even when we say, when we, when psychoeducating them, when we say no screen time, they'll be like, but I pannuven. So it's like a big thing, like a bomb being thrown at them. They really can't process it.
Somewhere I feel even parents feel, okay, இப்போ phone entertain பண்ணனா நான் தான் அவனை entertain பண்ணணுமா, நான் அவனை entertain பண்றதுக்கு என்னெல்லாம் பண்றது, அப்ப என்னால சமைக்க முடியாது, அப்ப I'll not be able to do my own professional work and all of it put together. That, as you said, that panic is always there. Screen time இல்ல அப்படின்னா அந்த 2 hours நான் என்ன பண்றது, அவனை எப்படி manage பண்றது அப்படின்ற ஒரு panic.
So I came across this acronym which was developed by a psychologist called Megan Owens. So she came up with an acronym because in her practice again she faced the same question. So she came up with this acronym called SPOIL, SPOIL. So S stands for you leave them to socialize, right? It's for social interactions, right? P stands for play. Mostly not a very structured play, unstructured free play for the child. Right? And O stands for outdoor activities, engaging them outdoors, right? And I stands for lot of individual tasks, as in like, how do we say, their activities of daily living, as in like doing their own chores at home, like make your own bed, after folding the clothes, please go and place it there. So engaging them in their own tasks itself will be sufficient. It will be time consuming, to be very honest, because apart from that they have a lot of homeworks, a lot of other classes to attend and all that. In the meantime, you don't have to really give a media there. You can do that. And last, the L stands for literacy. Reading, storytelling, something to engage and improve their literacy skill. Even watching a video there for literacy, parents co-watching and pausing in between the video, asking them questions. So these are things that's helpful, rather than just switching on the video and leaving the child there.
Right. Now, in most of the houses, right, they agree to something. They say, okay, 10 minutes the mobile phone or 15 minutes the mobile phone, adukapra illa and all of it. But somewhere the 15 minutes become 30 minutes, it becomes 45 minutes, it becomes 1 hour or even 2 hours. But the child does not realize it's been 2 hours. Sometimes the children also come and fight with you. Ma, 10 minutes then it would have been 1 hour. The children don't realize it. What is actually happening in their brain, they're not able to come out of it.
Yeah. So what happens is that when they are consuming such overstimulating content, for say it can be a video game, or it can be just a rhymes video, or any video for that say. So on the screen we see a lot of colors, lot of movements, fast movements. We see a lot of sounds, different sounds. It's very engaging. So when they visually see, there is like this dopamine firecrackers in your brain. It's just going continuously, right? So when the parents, when doing that, they're very much absorbed into the screen. Their focus is fully there. So the passage of time is not seen. So we have this state called flow. We have read in psychology, right? Wherein you totally get involved and you will not know the passage of time. You'll just be in it. So it's a flow for them. Social media or the usage of mobile, video games, screen time, everything is being a flow for them, flow state for them. So they are not able to recognize the passage of time. So what parents ideally can do here is that they can, prior to giving the mobile or prior to them engaging in something, they can say that, half an hour da.
Yeah.
Say that. But again, as you said, they will not know.
Yeah.
So what you can do,
Set
you can
a
give a
timer.
timer.
Good.
That too, rather than just an alarm timer, keep a clock or
Right.
a visual thing. They have to see it. Because if just an alarm, they are fully focused. They're not going to hear that alarm.
Yeah,
They're not going to hear your voice.
Or
How will
they'll
they
snooze
hear?
it.
Yeah. Or else you can also use this sand clock.
Right. Yeah.
Right? You can just place a sand clock. After it comes down, it's over. And it should be over by then. As in, like, you have to remove it or you have to take it. You have to cut the screen time right there. So if the child is asking, Amma, more 5 nimisham or 2 nimisham na, if you're going to leave it, it's not going to end there. So the child knows that if I plead, I'll get
extra 10 minutes.
10
or
minutes.
15 minutes.
right. We have to be firm as a parent there and limit it right there.
Okay.
Or if sometimes that may also not work. What happens? Tantrum comes in.
Yeah.
So we can be some little bit more mindful. For example, let's say the child is playing a video game. என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா, இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் அந்த ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் லெவல் விளையாடுறாங்கன்னா, அப்போ போய் நம்ம ஃபோனை பிடுங்கிட்டோம்னா முடிஞ்சு வீடு ரெண்டாயிடும். ஸோ வாட் வி கேன் டூ, யூ ஹேவ் டு பி மைண்ட்ஃபுல். ஸோ அங்கதான் நம்ம வந்து பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து வி ஷுட் பி நோயிங் வாட் இஸ் த கண்டென்ட் தட் தேர் கன்சியூமிங், வாட் தேர் டூயிங். ஸோ இஃப் இட்ஸ் அ கேம், what is the game about? They should be mindful. So if அது level based game na, the parents can wait there, like not go away, wait there. The level முடிச்சோனே நீ கொடுத்துறணும். They can wait there and after the level is over they can get it immediately. If they say the level முடிச்சோனே வந்துருன்னு சொல்லிட்டு if they go back, the child is going to continue. He's not going to stop. So அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணலாம். One more thing, if it's not level, if it's life, இவ்வளோ life இருக்கு அந்த மாதிரி they have to monitor.
Correct.
Like a small, like ஒரு கொஞ்சம் attention to monitor that will go a long way.
Okay. So I read that most of the children who watch content like this, right, let it be in all of it put together, children enter into a state that we call trance. You would know what is a trance state. So which is why even when we call them, they are not looking at us or they're not paying attention to us because they've completely gone into it. They use so many colors, as you said, they use so many movements that children are not able to come out of it. And when all of these episodes are released, right, they also experimented with children. They see when children are not paying attention, so they remove that content.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's apparently not interesting for the child. Why put it on, social media or on any media? So they also experimented with children and that's how episodes are even made.
Wow.
So I think parents need to understand, behind saying he is so addicted or she is so addicted, I think it's very much necessary for us to figure out what is the science behind it.
Exactly.
And something very common happens here is, they say, நீ நிறைய ஃபோன் யூஸ் பண்ணுறல்ல, ஆனால் ஹாஸ்டலில் போட்டுடுறேன். ஹாஸ்டலில் போட்டுட்டு ஹாஸ்டலில் உனக்கு எப்படி ஃபோன் கிடைக்கும்? You will not get your mobile phone there. So I think from next week I'm going to put you in a hostel. இந்த மாதிரி they use a lot of maladaptive coping strategies as parents. So what do you think about that?
So it's a very common thing, even from very small age, like even when we are kids, they will just knock say பூச்சாண்டி வரோம் சாப்பிட்ரு, பூச்சாண்டி தூக்கிட்டு போயிடுவோம். So from very small age we
டாக்டர் ஊசி போட்டுருவாங்க,
டாக்டர் ஊசி போட்டுருவாங்க, இது பண்ணிடுவாங்க, உன்னை அங்கே பிடிச்சி கொடுத்துருவேன், ஸோ உன்னை தூக்கி குப்பையில போட்டுருவேன். Even
nowadays parents say Amazonல ரிட்டர்ன் பண்ணிடுவேன்.
Even I saw that reel wherein the mother says, I'll return you back. அந்த child ரொம்ப பாவமா வந்து நான் ஏன் பண்ணுவேன். So they are saying a particular behavior. So what happens here is that they are installing fear. Right? So if you don't do this, I will do something to you. What is happening there is that if you see very deep into it, the child is not feeling safe. அது ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகலாம் அந்த மொமெண்ட்டுக்கு for that one particular thing that can work out. Like that fear is helpful. Probably நீ இப்போ ஹோம்ஒர்க் பண்ணலனா நான் உன்னை வந்து நாளைக்கு உன் மிஸ்கிட்ட கம்ப்ளைண்ட் பண்ணிடுவேன், அவங்க உன்னை வந்து நிற்க வச்சிருவாங்க வெளில. Saying that child will probably do it. So what happens, probably if you're repeatedly saying this, the child will be very afraid to go to school. Right? So you're kind of instilling this fear, and again, as I said, it's not going to stop here. What happens, these individuals when they grow up, they tend to feel that if I don't do something will happen to me, something bad will happen. That fear is being instilled. So they kind of push themselves beyond that line and do things. Just imagine you're working in office and your boss comes and say, இன்னைக்குள்ள ஹர்ஷினி நீங்கள் டெட்லைன் நீங்கள் சப்மிட் பண்ணல அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் ஃபயர்ட். ஸோ வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன்? யூ வில் ஃபினிஷ் இட் somehow you will finish it because you don't want to get fired. But if this is going to happen a lot, will you feel motivated?
No.
Safe?
No.
Supported?
No.
Not at all. Same thing with the children.
And they also create a very unrealistic fear towards hostel.
Yeah.
And my nephew, right, my dog ran away from my house. And when my father brought him back, immediately my nephew said, Zazi, இப்படி தனியா வெளியில போக கூடாது, யாராவது உன்னை kidnap பண்ணிடுவாங்க. It's only 5 years old. But that's when actually everybody started laughing in my family. But I was just wondering, why did he even say that? Are we telling this very frequently to him? அவனுக்கு இப்போ வெளியில தனியா போனா யாரா கிட்னாப் பண்ணிடுவாங்க, யாரா ஸ்ட்ரேஞ்சர் சாக்லேட் கொடுத்தா அதுல கண்டிப்பா ஏதாவது இருக்கும், டேக் மீ அவே அப்படின்ற மாதிரி இஸ் நோ ஃபிக்ஸ்ட். ஸோ வி கிரியேட் அ லாட் ஆஃப் அன்ரியலிஸ்டிக் ஃபியர் for children by doing a lot of other things. No,
what happens is when they grow up, it comes out as anxiety in them. Right, because in the age layer we are kind of instilling it in them. Right, we are just spoon feeding that in them. Like nee pannalana idu, but fear is not going to help there. So always when we are saying children that don't do this, don't do that, what happens is that we are not giving them alternative of what has to be done. Right, we are just leaving them with don't do this. The child brain can't comprehend this don't. It just do this. I will go do that. Pannadana adha pannittu varum. So their parents, they blame, and then what happens, they lose their patience, they hit or they punish some ways. So it's not helping them. Instead of just saying தூக்கி போடாத அப்படின்னு சொல்றதுக்கு அதை நீ பாஸ் பண்ண, அவன் கையில கொடுத்துட்டு வா அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். Right, because it's here we are not blaming the parents also, because they are also feeling that sense of panic in them. ஐயோ ஏதாவது பண்ணிடுவானே, ஏதாவது சொல்லிடுவாங்களோ, so இதை பண்ணாத, அதை பண்ணாத, they keep restricting. If we see when they restrict, that time only they go and do it wantonly.
Actually, I watched a video of a school teacher going and telling a child. So the child here, the teacher has got 2 different things on her hand. One has got a cup and one has got a pouch. So the teacher there is asking, saying, do not take the cup. The child is taking the cup. And later the teacher shifts some 2 different objects in her hand, and then again she says, do not take the pouch. Child is taking pouch. So there the teacher is saying, do not use negative sentences to children.
Very
when
true.
you say do not or don't do something of this sort, children don't perceive it as negative sentences. They just understand the cue words. Okay,
Very
cup. Okay, pouch. So let me take it. Abdina they
That's
take
really
Abdina
true.
Soli saw video, but actually she was experimenting there with children. Everybody did the same. So that's why even I was wondering, are we supposed to say what to do instead of what to not do to children?
Exactly, that's where I think it's a very small shift. But if we do this shift, I think
Very big difference.
Very big difference, and lot of emotional turmoil for the parents and the child will go down. Right, rather than putting themselves in the situation of shouting at each other, scolding, beating and all that, just say what the child has to do. That will be better.
Somewhere I feel we all started talking so much about screen time is also because of lack of physical play.
True.
I just remember one of Albert Einstein's quotes which says, play is the highest form of research.
Very true.
Okay, I saw this quote around 2 or 2.5 years back. Didn't realize the impact of the quote back then. But few days back, I told you about my nephew, right? He was sitting and playing building blocks. Okay, so he just started stacking with one block. One block, adukku mela onna. After 5 or 6 blocks, the stack completely fell down. Okay, you will not believe what he did next. It may sound very normal to others, but he started building a wider base. Okay, he started building a wider base, and again over 6 or 7 போனதுக்கு அப்புறம் again it fell down.
Okay,
the third time when he started developing, he started building a balance between the 2 blocks.
Wow.
I felt appoda in the quote, are we doing so many things? The child has now understood how to do a trial and error. Okay, first time எனக்கு இது ஒர்க் ஆகலைன்னா செகண்ட் டைம் நான் வேற மாதிரி ட்ரை பண்ணணும். Child is experimenting so much in this. Child understood the concept of balance here. The child understood the concept of building a base first. So many things out of just physical play. இது ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை, ஒரு 3 or 4 minutes this would have happened, but so much of learning that the child doesn't even realize. Somewhere I feel இந்த physical play இல்லை, ஒரு hands on play இல்லாததுக்கான ரீசன் கூட ஸ்க்ரீன் டைம் இவ்வளோ நம்ம பேச வேண்டியதுக்கான நெசசிட்டி ஆயிடுச்சு.
Very true. And also one more interesting thing that I have noticed in my practice is that இப்போ நம்ம வந்து ப்ளே எவ்வளோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு சொல்லி நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணி விளையாடுங்க அப்படின்னா பேரண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் க்ளூலெஸ்.
What to play?
How to play? How do I play with them? Not even what, it's like how விளையாடணுமா எப்படி விளையாடணும். So they're very clueless. And first time they will not immediately ask this. One parent I remember when I said this, they went back home and then they came for the next session. They were like, "Ma'am, எனக்கு விளையாட தெரியல, எனக்கு என்ன பண்ணணும் தெரியல, எனக்கு பொறுமை இல்லை." So they're not having the patience. What happens even in the play, as you said here, நீங்க சொன்ன கோட் படி எக்ஸாம்பிள் படி அந்த சைல்டு தானாவே ட்ரையல் அண்ட் எரர்ல பண்ணிட்டாங்க. இப்போ if for example let's take a parent being there. So how can a parent be there, be present in the play? நம்ம சொல்றோம் parent can sit there if நம்ம சைல்டு நீங்கள் சொன்ன உங்கள் நெஃப்யூ அழகாக பண்ணிட்டாங்க, பட் நாட் ஆல் சில்ட்ரன் மைட் பி ஏபிள் டு டூ தட், கரெக்டாக? ஸோ அந்த டைம் த பேரண்ட்ஸ் கேன் மோட்டிவேட் தெம்,
ஓகே,
ரைட், டு ஜஸ்ட் கைட் தெம். ஆனால் நாட் ஃபிக்ஸிங் தெம், நாட் கரெக்டிங் தெம். இது கூட உனக்கு தெரியாதா, நோ, அதெல்லாம் சொல்லாமல் ஜஸ்ட் பீயிங் ப்ரெசென்ட். ஆனால் இப்படி ட்ரை பண்ணி பார்க்கலாமா, இல்லைனா யூ ஜஸ்ட் parallelly sit and do that, probably the child will see and do. Correct. So these are certain things that we have to pay attention to and play very important.
So we are almost at the end of the podcast. So now what would a quick take on parents to manage children's behavior?
Yeah. So if we see behavior, right? In terms of parents' words, we can say it as good behavior, bad behavior, right? So what generally happens is that parents give more importance and they focus on the bad behavior.
Right.
Even when they come for the consultation, they will come in and they will be like listing a lot of problem behavior. And then we will ask this one question: what is your child good at? They will be blank. They will say edume illa. And then we have to probe. They will give a list again, right? So the more focus will be on the bad behaviors. When we are trying to work on the bad behaviors, like for, let's say, take example of a tantrum. So when we are using the technique of avoiding, like not paying attention to it, not giving up easily, not maintaining eye contact when they are throwing a tantrum, and following all this, at the same time, we have to focus on the good behavior, right? Acknowledge the time when the child is doing it right. So we miss this part, right? This get missed. So only focusing on the bad behaviors and dismissing or like not even paying attention or acknowledging the good things that they are doing will not help us. So it's like a balance. So when we keep focusing on the bad behaviors alone, this good behavior is going unnoticed. When you start ignoring it, not paying attention to the bad behavior, but redirecting your attention to the good behavior, the child is getting attention only for the good behaviors. Attention is the reward.
Okay.
So when they get the reward, they keep doing this only. When they don't get the reward, they drop it. Every time they shout, you don't pay attention at all. You don't like turn your head towards them. But when they do something good, you go and acknowledge. Very nalla pannitiye. Sonna onne vanta very good. Just a small acknowledgement or just a pat on the back. Or just a high five. Whatever the child feels seen. Child feels like, they noticed me. If you give that for the good behaviors, automatically this will come down. It's just a balance. Both things can't exist at the same point, right? So it will be a balance. So more focus on the good things and ignoring will kind of like be like one takeaway that I will give the parents right now to take home and try to implement it.
Okay, it was wonderful. I think for the first question that I asked, why did you do 7 years of psychology? This podcast would have been an answer. To get such a detailed answer, going back to the basics of how the child would feel or how the parent would feel, and the entire dynamics of what is happening with the behavior. I think this was, I don't know, I don't have any adjectives per se, but I definitely feel for a lot of parents this would have been a mode of insightful informations, because getting these informations from a qualified professional nowadays goes very low. Because if I become a parent, parents feel I can talk about parenting. No, nothing against it, but when other people believe them and start doing it for the same, there is also a probability of doing harm to others.
True.
So in that scenario, I think it would have been very thought-provoking for the parents to have listened to your podcast. And thank you so much for spending so much of time And I know you also put in a lot of effort in, preparing for whatever you want to do. So all the very best for your future, and thank you so much for the podcast.
Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.